If you look at the sub-Saharan African qualifiers, you got Ghana, Cape Verde. What a story! South Africa, Ivory Coast, Senegal, and one of Nigeria, Gabon, Cameroon, and Dr. Congo. Who are going to be the best sides from that? Can you see any of those sub-Saharan African sides making a
Yeah,
real impression next year?
Senegal. There's because Morocco. When I speak to people that aren't maybe following African football on a daily basis, Morocco is always they're the cute thing to talk about because the World Cup's coming up because they're doing so well in the youth national team. But if you talk to people that are in it, they'll say Senegal are the team to look out for actually. And the only reason why they're not complete favorites coming up at the upcoming AFCON is um, because Morocco is hosting it. So Morocco, of course, is going to have. But those are the two teams that are top in Africa at the moment. And Senegal is just the amount of talent that they're producing is unrivaled on the continent. And they do this via various academies. They have, of course, the most famous one is called Generation Foot, and it's funded and sort of co-built by FC Metz in France. And they run things very well on the ground. It's by a former player named Madi Touré and a former agent. And then basically what they do is Metz in France have the right of first refusal on one or two talents per year. So they can go and pick out the best talent. They go to play in Metz for a year, and then from there they go with a huge sell-on fees to other places in Europe. So Sadio Mane came from there. Crystal Palace's Ismail Assar came from there. Lamine Camara, currently at Monaco, big talent in central midfield, also came from there. Even Papi Cisse, if you guys remember him from Newcastle as well. So Generation Foot is maybe the best academy in Africa, but then they also have three or four other very good ones, whether it's Casaspor or Giambars and so on and so forth. So I think it's become like an economy of sorts. It's become a real way of making money in Senegal, and nothing motivates like money, like cash. And so I think that's one of the reasons why. Because again, if you look at the population, 25 million people, that's not a huge pool to draw from. Uh, Not a huge amount of capital as well. They're football mad, but so are other countries. But I think they just see that this works. So if this works, we should replicate it. And it's become, like I said, an economy. And so Senegal are the team to look out for because on paper, they're by far the best team. And then they also have a coach in Pap Thiaw, who's been in charge now for a little more than a year, who really knows his squad because Aliou Cisse was like that too. He was very close to the players. He knew their tendencies. But Pap Thiaw, I think, is doing a little bit better than Aliou Cisse was at the time, which is crazy to say because Aliou Cisse was in charge for nearly 100 matches. I think he lost maybe 6 or 7 of them. And if you look at the matches he lost, it was AFCON final, World Cup against England. It was really matches that they weren't expected to win. But Pap Thiaw, I remember going through Aliou Cisse's matches and I saw how many times does this team score 4 goals? And I think it was 3 or 4 times in the 100 matches. So they were much more of a pragmatic side, much more hesitant to push forward. With Pap Thiaw, they've already equaled that in less than 20 matches. So they seem to be much more of an attacking side and are capitalizing on some of their strengths. So Senegal, I think, are the team to look out for. Absolutely.
Yeah, Joe, you were nodding almost
Yeah,
throughout that. Do you agree?
Yeah, I was just going to add that Senegal hasn't lost a match in the last year. They do look really strong. So I just wanted to agree with Maher because it's a good shout.
Just a quick point about Morocco as well. They set a record this international window. They've won 16 consecutive matches, bypassing a record that was co-held by England and Spain. Although if you do look at the opponents that they beat, there were a lot of Zambia and the Congo, Brazzaville, not Dr. Congo, Congo Brazzaville. So it wasn't necessarily that there was only one World Cup participant in the 16. It was Tunisia. So definitely a tough or an easier route, but they are record holders. So.
And
Morocco and Senegal.
Senegal just announced a friendly with Brazil next month, so we'll see how that goes over. It's
interesting.
And stadium.
As Romario would say, they all count, Tim. They all count, even the schoolboy matches. The matches.
Indeed, yeah. But I'm a bit suspicious about them because all of these records, because they always tend to go wrong just when you don't want it to go wrong.